All right, so we finally got to see who Bill Burr's character was, another mercenary, an old friend. Well, no, the guy who ran the crew was the old friend, I guess. The rest of them were kind of assholes he wasn't really sure about. So it's cool that we got back to the kind of the core of the Mandalorian here in this next episode. Episode 6 was titled The Prisoner? I can't read my own writing. It was titled The Prisoner. So that made sense once we saw the episode. So, yeah, really dug it. Let's jump into The Mandalorian Episode 6, The Prisoner. And this video is brought to you by my awesome Patreons. I really appreciate the continued support, you guys. You guys keep this channel going as we try to navigate this new YouTube algorithm. And by the way, guys, if you dig these type of videos, please watch till the end. Watch another video, perhaps. Not just for me, but for your favorite creator. You have to like, share, subscribe, watch the video for a longer period of time, hopefully the entire thing, in order to get around this new YouTube algorithm. So really appreciate the support. Anyway, The Mandalorian Episode 6. I really dug this episode. It was pretty good. We got back to the core, like I said before, of what the Mandalorian is as a mercenary / bounty hunter. So he goes and he's still on the run, which is going to be a problem for the remainder of this season, obviously, and probably through till next season as well. He finds an old space station, which he found his old friend, and I wasn't sure at first. I was like, is that Nick Nolte again, playing a different character? But yeah, just really reminded me of Nick Nolte's character, I Have Spoken Dude, but I don't know if we'll see him again, maybe next season, I don't know. That's one question I have about The Mandalorian. All these characters, like, for example, Bill Burr's character in this episode, will we ever see him again? Is it just a one-off, I Have Spoken Dude? There's no real need for him to go back to that planet, so will we ever see that character again? I don't know. Perhaps he travels back there and gets some help again. We'll see. But I really dug this episode because it was kind of old school and also almost even, I would say, basic in the idea of the story, where you jump in with a few friends, kind of a Magnificent Seven style, and you go on this mission to rescue, or in this case, break out a prisoner. I also thought it was really interesting that it was a Republic prison, a new Republic prison this time, as opposed to, some old Imperial prison or some bad guy prison or whatever. Not that the prisoners are not necessarily bad guys. I'm saying, it was always, everything in Star Wars, you're always breaking into an Imperial outpost or some kind of crime lord syndicate, whatever, prison type thing, complex. And this time it was actually the New Republic. And you got to remember, the Mandalorians don't give a shit about them either. I also really dug the meta jokes in this episode of The Mandalorian. There were a few of those by Bill Burr's character specifically. They had said that he was an Imperial sharpshooter, and he turns around and says,
I wasn't a stormtrooper, wise ass.
Of course, playing off the old joke that stormtroopers can't shoot anything, they can't hit anything, they miss everything, whatever. So I thought that was pretty damn funny. And you also had another one in the same scene on the ride to the Republic prison to break out this prisoner, I guess, which the episode was named. And he says maybe he's a Gungan, and he starts talking like Jar Jar Binks, and of course that's why he keeps the helmet on all the time, was the joke. And I thought that was pretty funny. A little friendly jab, so to speak, at episode 1, the Phantom Menace, with the whole Jar Jar Binks debacle, which everybody's familiar with. So I thought that was pretty good. I actually love the little motley crew that he had to kind of join up with and use his own ship to go break out this prisoner. You had the Twi'lek girl, who apparently he had a little fling with back in the day. I mean, she seems to know some details about him, maybe even what he looks like under the helmet. So maybe that answers some of those questions we're all thinking about. He does take the helmet off on occasion and show it to people, just saying. Also had Bill Burr's character. I really loved the little back shoulder handgun type thing that kind of shot where he shot. That was pretty damn cool. We'd seen that previously in the trailer, of course, and we didn't know who he was. We had, of course, another droid who he, of course, the Mandalorian does not like. That's a big Star Wars thing. He doesn't like droids. And the Twi'lek girl even asked him, you still don't like the bucket heads or something like that, basically referring to the fact that he's never liked droids, doesn't trust them, whatever. And the idea is he doesn't trust their programming. So somebody created that droid, and you never know what the programming is going to do or have it do to you or whatever. So that was pretty cool. And then, of course, you had, I forgot the species name, but this is one of the original species you saw in the cantina, I believe, in episode 4 of New Hope. Big, bulking dude with horns. He was pretty damn funny as well. So it was a good mix of characters there, different types of characters, all working with the famous Mandalorian. And that's what I thought was a little bit odd, though, is they know, like, he knew a couple of those guys, being old friends. They've apparently worked together before. But the new guys were like, you know, this is a Mandalorian standing here, but they didn't really have any respect for him. You know, they thought it was kind of a joke or whatever until he kind of proved himself in the prison by taking out all the guard droids or whatever. So it's like they want to make sure you know that Mandalorians are kind of well known in the galaxy, and then when you see one, you better be afraid and all this type of stuff. But in this case, it was like more of a joke to them until they found out, you know, he could really kick some ass. And of course, the classic storyline as well of the double cross. They use his ship, they break out this prisoner who ended up being the Twi'lek's brother, apparently. I'm not sure who exactly he was, how important he is. I don't remember his name. I think they said his name. But this one lonely guard on the outpost, because it was supposed to be all droids basically, actually triggered a Republic homing beacon. They locked him in a cell. He was able to get out with a droid that came by, and he basically got the key to the cell. He broke out. He took him out one at a time, and you never saw any death scenes. And I was kind of thinking this the whole time watching it, that he didn't actually kill them. And sure enough, in the end, he ends up taking the prisoner back by himself after everybody else is gone. He did kill the droid because the droid, you know, not really a person, so he did kill the droid. Because, of course, the droid was on the ship after Baby Yoda when he realized, going through his old logs and stuff, that he was a very valuable bounty or whatever, and that's the reason he's on the run or whatever from the guild. So it just shows you that he can take work from other, you know, factions or whatever, not just the Bounty Hunters Guild, and still do the same type of job. But it's going to be one of those, you know, have gun, will travel type things for a while until they figure out the Baby Yoda storyline. Maybe as we get into Season 2 and find out about some more Mandalorian stuff, because we've only seen them a couple times now, and we hadn't seen any other Mandalorians since they had to leave that planet. So I thought it was great as well, that scene where Baby Yoda is finally found by the droid, because he's kind of sneaking around and hiding from him on the ship while they're down in the prison. And then the droid gets shot from behind by the Mandalorian, and Baby Yoda kind of looks at his own hand like, did I do that with the Force? So I thought we were going to see another Force move. We didn't see that quite yet. So he's still learning. He's still very young. But I thought that was funny as hell that he looked at his own hand like, did I just do that myself? That's what he thought he used the Force. Anyway, I also dug the fact that at the end you found out that he didn't kill anybody on the prison except for all the droids. You know, they don't really count though, I suppose. But he locked them all in a single cell together. So Bill Burr's character, the Twi'lek girl, as well as Hellboy are all in a cell somewhere on some Republic prison. They're trapped there. They can't get out. And then he goes back and drops off, you know, the prisoner to the old friend, so to speak, on the space station. And then he takes the tracking beacon there, leaves with his money. Then the Republic comes in. I thought this was very cool. You saw the X-Wings come in. A little cameo there by Dave Filoni, by the way, the guy who's the showrunner, producer, whatever, or one of them. You know, he's the one who did Star Wars Rebels as well. He was one of the Rebel pilots there. So I thought that was pretty cool, because you just never get in Star Wars the Rebels attacking something. You know, they had this beacon go off. It's always the Empire or some bad guys or whatever. But you had the quote-unquote good guys here, the New Republic, that still uses X-Wing fighters. And it was really cool to kind of see them blow up something and kind of take out the bad guys for once, as opposed to always being the Empire attacking something. So this little outpost ends up getting destroyed, and he set them up from the get-go. So this went back to the gritty Mandalorian where he didn't talk that much. People talked shit around him, and he kind of kept his mouth shut and then showed things with his actions, and that's what I really dug about this episode. So yes, and by the way, anybody that's new here, we're going to cover The Witcher as well, which comes out in another week. We're going to be talking about Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker as well when it comes out. That would just be a one-off review type thing as usual for movies. But yeah, we have other shows coming. We have The Witcher coming, obviously, on Netflix next week. That's going to drop all at one time, so I'll probably do like a video a day per episode or something like that. To go through that. We'll do live streams about it as well, and we'll do a live stream again this Sunday about this episode of The Mandalorian, and we'll probably do that over on Twitch again as well. So anyway, we got a lot of stuff coming up, and of course, as we start to see House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones prequel news come out, casting, all that stuff, we'll damn sure talk about it. So anyway, guys, as usual, thank you for all the support, especially you guys on Patreon, and a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers. And again, if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share. And be sure to subscribe to get everything and click that notification bell twice so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.